Good morning and welcome to NewsDive. It's Saturday, August 30th, 2025, and the time is 6 a.m. Here are the top stories making headlines across Sri Lanka and beyond. Former President Ranil Wickremesinghe has been discharged from the intensive care unit of Colombo National Hospital after his health showed improvement. He was first moved to a normal ward before being released on Friday. In sports, Sri Lanka secured a thrilling victory against Zimbabwe in the first one-day international in Harare. Sri Lanka posted a strong total of 298 for 6, with notable innings from Pathum Nisanka scoring 76, Kamindu Mendes with 57, and Janeth Lianage unbeaten on 70. The match ended dramatically when Dilshan Madushanka took his maiden hat-trick in the final over, sealing a 7-run win for Sri Lanka. On the legal front, Justice Minister Harshana Nanayakara announced the reopening of investigations into over 10,000 complaints of enforced disappearances reported before the year 2000, covering both the northern and southern regions of the country. Several former political figures remain in the spotlight. Former Minister Rajitha Senarathna was remanded until September 9th by the Colombo Magistrates Court over allegations linked to a sand dredging project at Kirinda Fisheries Harbour, which reportedly caused government losses exceeding 20 million rupees. The Bribery Commission named him a suspect after he evaded summons and investigation. Similarly, former State Minister Nimal Lanza was arrested and remanded until September 12th by the Negombo Magistrates Court in connection with an alleged assault and property damage case dating back to 2006. Former State Minister Shashindra Rajapaksa was also further remanded until September 12th over corruption allegations. Additionally, former Member of Parliament Ven Athurelie Rathana Thero was remanded until September 12th in relation to an alleged abduction case. In financial news, the Central Bank of Sri Lanka unveiled a new 2,000 rupee commemorative banknote to mark its 75th anniversary. The note includes accessibility features designed for the visually impaired and was presented to President Anura Kumara Dissanayake. President Dissanayake also called on the private sector to invest in converting presidential houses and ministerial bungalows located in tourist zones into holiday resorts, aiming to boost the tourism industry. The Ceylon Electricity Board Engineers Union has criticized the government's recent power sector reforms, describing them as rushed and poorly planned, and warning that they could lead to blackouts. In a move to improve public services, the Ministry of Public Security announced the opening of a new immigration and emigration office in Jaffna on September 1st, enhancing accessibility for residents in the northern province. Turning to legal and political developments, the Anuradhapura magistrate has urged the Criminal Investigation Department to expedite the investigation into the shooting of former MP Udika Premaratna's car, following advice from the Attorney General. Meanwhile, police have arrested 2 suspects in connection with the murder of former prison officer Lalith Kumara Kodagoda near Bandaragama. The People's Action for Free and Fair Elections, or PAFFREL, has proposed 2 options for holding upcoming provincial council elections, either amending the old system to include a female representation quota or reviewing the rejected delimitation report with a new committee. On the international front, a 24-member delegation from Sri Lanka's parliament met with India's Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla to discuss strengthening parliamentary ties between the two nations. In economic news, the Colombo Consumer Price Index rose by 1.2% in August, marking the end of 11 months of deflation. This inflation increase was driven by rising food and non-food prices. The Colombo stock market closed August with a 7% gain, with the all-share price index nearing the 21,000 mark, buoyed by strong investor sentiment and gains in capital goods and financial sectors. The National Savings Bank reported a record profit before tax of 25.5 billion rupees in the first half of 2025, a 65% increase year-on-year, attributed to growth in net interest income and improved asset quality. Sri Lanka aims to attract over $1 billion in foreign direct investment by the end of 2025, supported by reforms to improve transparency, coordination, and approval processes. However, the 12.9 billion rupee acquisition of Colombo Dockyard by Indian firm Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Limited has been delayed pending regulatory approvals. Sri Lanka's commercial bank market capitalization has surpassed $1 billion, with assets expanding over 3 trillion rupees in the second quarter of 2025. The GovPay digital payment system is also seeing growing acceptance, with over 300 traffic fines paid daily in the Western province through the platform. Back to sports, Sri Lanka's cricket team has announced its 16-man squad for the upcoming Asia Cup 2025 and the T20 International Tour of Zimbabwe. However, key players Dinesh Chandimal and Avishka Fernando will miss these matches due to injuries. Internationally, Thailand's Constitutional Court removed Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra from office after ruling she violated constitutional ethics during a phone call with Cambodia's Senate president. European leaders expressed outrage following Russian strikes that killed 23 people and damaged the European Union headquarters, with EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen condemning the deadliest Russian attack on EU soil. In Ukraine, the largest naval ship, the reconnaissance vessel Simferopol, was sunk in Russia's first sea drone attack. Meanwhile, a U.S. appeals court ruled many of former President Donald Trump's global tariffs illegal, potentially removing a key foreign policy tool used during his second term. In the electric vehicle market, Tesla's sales in Europe plunged by 42.4% year-on-year in July, while Chinese EV maker BYD's sales surged by over 200%. On health and environment, the health ministry cautioned the public about whitening toothpastes, noting they may scratch tooth enamel and only remove surface stains temporarily. Fluoride toothpaste is recommended for lasting protection. The Sri Lankan Navy commissioned its 1,123rd water purification plant in Anuradhapura, capable of purifying 10,000 liters of water daily as part of the National Clean Sri Lanka project. The country also recorded a record-breaking year for eye donations, with over 5,000 donations in the first 8 months of 2025, aiding sight restoration both locally and internationally. In transport and safety news, starting tomorrow, seatbelts will be mandatory for all passengers on expressway buses, following a new Gazette notification aimed at enhancing road safety. Additionally, trials of solar-powered electric waste-collecting boats have been launched on Barra Lake in Colombo, part of ongoing environmental efforts. In entertainment, pop superstar Taylor Swift and NFL player Travis Kelce announced their engagement, celebrated by friends including Selena Gomez. Actress Bella Ramsey responded to criticism of The Last of Us Season 3 by suggesting critics try playing the original video game if they dislike the adaptation. Singer Sabrina Carpenter released her new album titled Man's Best Friend, featuring bold and raunchy themes, encouraging listeners to enjoy the music freely. Actor Orlando Bloom opened up about the physical and mental challenges he faced, losing 52 pounds for his role in the film The Cut. That wraps up our NewsDive update for this Saturday morning. Thank you for joining us. Stay safe and have a wonderful day ahead.